All right, Daniel Jacobs, Luis Arias, 18-0, 9 KOs. This is exactly what Daniel Jacobs should be doing. Okay, look, Gennady Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs, he claims, he was robbed, he won, should have been a draw, I deserve a rematch. We heard it all, right? But think about it, just like Gennady Golovkin and Canelo, it was ruled a draw. We all know Golovkin won, but they ruled it a draw. And what did Golovkin do? What did he do? He went back to the drawing board, moved on, and tried to get the next fight, lined up, basically, right? And that's exactly what Jacobs should have done, when he last fought Gennady Golovkin. But instead, like I said, he went around, claiming he's a victim and, wanted to pretty much, talk his way back into a rematch. So I like that he's doing what he should be doing. He wants the winner of Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux. And look, that's the way to do it right there. If he can manage to get his hands on the WBO, then I think that would possibly, maybe secure another fight with Gennady Golovkin. But here's a problem. Okay, we got a problem. If Gennady Golovkin won't fight Billy Joe Saunders right now for the WBO, why would he fight Jacobs without the WBO or with the WBO? Doesn't matter, with or without, right? Like I said, he won't fight Billy Joe Saunders to become undisputed middleweight champion. Why in the hell would he take a fight with Daniel Jacobs, So unless, in his mind, it's an easy win, or maybe he wants to prove that he can and did in fact beat Jacobs and do it again, possibly in like September, but I don't think so. I think we're going to see Gennady Golovkin and Canelo in May, and that's how it's going to play out. Now, one thing I want to show you guys real quick. That knockout, okay, the Pirog knockout, Pirog, whatever, knockout. Notice, okay, notice. The referee, Larry Bird, right? The husband of Adelaide Bird. Now, I think it was a bad stoppage. He gets knocked down. I won't say knocked out because he was not knocked out. He was coherent. He was talking. He was responding. He was answering questions. He was, in fact, arguing with Robert Bird, arguing with him that, he wanted to continue on. Right here, he's looking up. And immediately he begins to argue. He says, I'm good. It's exactly what he said, verbatim. I'm good. And for whatever reason, Robert Bird, said no, waved the fight off. Round 5 right there. Okay, about almost at the 2-minute mark. So just a little side note, I don't agree with that stoppage. I would have liked to see, seen Jacobs, or them allow him to continue. But, and of course, we know the whole Mora situation. Mora, basically was injured in the original fight. Jacobs said no rematch. And then to avoid other fighters, I believe Jacobs gave him a rematch. So, that's kind of the two black eyes on his record. Okay, but this guy here, Luis Arias, okay, don't know much about him, but here I'll read a couple of statements from him. He said, how do you beat Jacobs? Right here, you touch him and you touch him and you touch that chin. Jacobs doesn't like to fight. He's a boxer, okay. He's an athlete. He's fast. He's quick, but he gets wild and he doesn't really like to fight. So I just got to be myself. I got to dog him. I got to bring the fight to him. And that's exactly what we plan on doing. So this guy's confident, and he seems to, have all the answers, right? And then they asked him, well, what do you think about the Gennady Golovkin-Jacobs fight? He says, well, I don't really like to go off the Triple G fight because it was one of his better performances. I mean, he's still lost, but put up a good fight, and that's how I look at it. But the one thing with him is that chin, right? You got to get that chin checked, right? His chin's been checked. I've said it a couple of times. Go back and look at his record. Go back and look at how many times he's hit the deck or he's been hurt. Okay, and we all know that. I kind of look at Daniel Jacobs as like, maybe the half Khan of the division. He's not quite a glass jaw Khan, but halfway. Okay, and I think that was a lot of the criticism of why didn't Gennady Golovkin knock him out? Who's this good-looking fella? I didn't even know I had that picture there. Damn, that's a surprise. I'm just going through my photo album. But hey, by the way, congratulations and thank you to the channel. I was looking, and I believe we have more views right now than Dante's Boxing Nation. So, we're doing something right. So thank you. It looks like we're making a big difference. So I went over there and checked it out over the last month compared to my channel, and I believe I have more views. So or it's pretty damn close. It's pretty damn close. So that's awesome, man. That's motivation for me right there. But by the way, let me end it here. Jacobs, he signed a multi-fight deal with HBO. We know that. Teaming up with Eddie Hearn, okay? Now, the middleweight division, you got Charlo, Jacobs, Lemieux, Canelo, Gennady Golovkin, Saunders. I mean, it's a pretty good-looking division. I'm excited by it. And now, you got Jacobs backed by a good promoter, and HBO. So being that he's backed by HBO, I think it's all politics, people. It's all politics and power and money, okay? And who you know. Maybe it's not what you know, but who you know. And I think now he's in a great position to get back to where he wanted to be. But, I think he realized that squeaky wheel routine is not going to work. You cannot just bark yourself back into a rematch. You can't claim or pretend you want to fight to get a rematch. So that's what he's claiming. He says, which he's on the right track. Luis Arias, 18-0, 9 KOs. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I believe he will win because I think he is determined, but he'll get that. If he wins, he'll get the opportunity to go up against Billy Joe Saunders or David Lemieux. So either one, it's a good fight. I want to see it. Either way. I'm excited to see the Billy Joe Saunders and the David Lemieux fight. So, and by the way, David Lemieux tweeting out recently some very harsh words for Billy Joe Saunders. So I'll probably bring that up in my next video. But I'm going to cut this one short. What do you guys think?